oh my God, I can't do it. I can't lift off the floor. This isn't for me. Freaking out. Everybody saw me. I failed. I can't even lift up. I can't lift back. I don't feel my TVA. I don't even know what it is. I can't do this. It's not for me, and I quit. We quit in our minds a long time before our bodies ready to give up. It's really, really easy to be stuck in a negative mindset and not even realize it. It's really important as a part of this process or any challenge that you face to become conscious of how exactly you speak to yourself in your mind. How do you react when you encounter a challenge? Are you upset? Are you sad? Are you mad? Are you embarrassed? Do you laugh? That's a little more rare. What we're trying to develop through this process is something that's going to help us in every challenge we encounter on and off our yoga mats. It's a staunch defiance. It is choosing courage over comfort. So when we have that failure, we experience that embarrassment, we choose courage. We choose not to let that fear or that failure define us. We choose to get up and practice anyway, even though we're afraid, even though it's challenging, even though we don't see how we could possibly ever do it. We choose to have faith in ourselves and keep showing up day after day and believing in ourselves and investing in ourselves. If you're struggling with the LSATs, that's okay. It's normal. It's fine. It's okay. Don't freak out. Don't give up on yourself. The fact that you've started something that is challenging your body in a way that you haven't challenged it is something to be immensely proud of. So good job and good work. Good for you. If you weren't committed, if you weren't dedicated to finding a way to make it work for yourself, you wouldn't even be here watching this video. So first of all, pat yourself on the back. I am proud of you for showing up, for looking for a way to make it work, and not giving in to the temptation to give up on yourself or to be afraid. Thank you for choosing courage with me today. We're going to talk about a sidestep from the LSAT. So don't think of this as a step back or a step down. If you haven't engaged your transverse abdominis before, or you haven't done a lot of pelvic floor work, it may be really challenging for you to even feel where that muscle is, what it feels like. You may not feel it yet, and that's okay. It might take a week or two of practice before you become aware of what that muscular engagement feels like. That's okay. It's been sleeping for a long time. It's just your own personal sleeping beauty, and it needs true love's kiss. And that's the self-love and self-care you give yourself every day on your mat. So hop on your mat, join me in something comfortable, and we're going to work on a predecessor or a sidestep to an LSAT exercise. I demoed this in one of our introductory videos, but we're actually going to add this for any of you who are struggling, or if you just want a little added bonus. I'm a huge fan of workouts that you can do in a supine position or laying down. For some reason in my mind, even if they're very challenging positions, they seem easier because I get to do it laying down. So this is one of my favorite exercises that really will help you identify where those muscles are in your body that you're trying to engage, and it'll also at the same time build strength for you, and it's going to help you in your LSATs as you progress through all types of balancing postures. So go ahead and grab a block. We won't use it at first, but we'll need it here in a minute. Come down, lay down on your back. Bring your knees up over your hips. Try to align them. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. Just be where you are. You'll feel your lower back pressed to the ground. I've got a little bit of sway back here. That's a pelvic tilt. So I actually have to pull my legs in a little bit to get my back flush with the mat. So wherever you need your knees to be flush with the mat there on your lower back, go ahead and place them there. You can have your hands just resting on the side. You can rest them on your tummy. This helped me identify where my transverse abdominis was, is having my hands right here on the side of my tummy. So your transverse abdominis wraps around right here, and if you place your hands here, you might start to feel it, or even imagine you feel it. You can close your eyes if you want. Sometimes that helps you focus on muscular engagement. So we're going to slowly move our feet towards the far wall, and it may be just an inch. And you should feel some engagement right there in your tummy on the sides, pulling in kind of like a belt. And that's your transverse abdominis. If you go a little bit too far, you'll feel your lower back come off the mat, And then we're really just getting into our back muscles. So that's not where we want to focus. So we want to pull them right back in. It's okay if it doesn't even feel like a perceptible movement. You're still building strength even if it doesn't look fancy. If you've ever seen somebody build a skyscraper, they start out digging a really deep hole and it doesn't look very impressive. But that foundation allows that building to rise tall and look amazing and keep its structure. So that's what we're doing here with this work. So reset, knees into the middle here, and then out just far enough to feel your transverse abdominis engage. If you're doing this and you're saying, man, I don't feel anything, I'm going here and here and I don't feel any difference, that's okay. Not everybody feels things the same way. So we're going to grab our block, if that's you, put it in between our knees right here, pop our knees right back up, and we're going to keep our knees right over our hips, and we're going to squeeze that block. So you squeeze your legs, you should feel a soft tightening right here in your core. That's your transverse abdominis. It's very difficult to squeeze your inner thighs without causing engagement in the transverse abdominis. So squeeze your inner thighs and you'll feel that muscle in your core engage. That's the muscle we're focusing on. So that and your pelvic floor, you can move your legs forward a little bit, move them back, play around, see where you feel that engagement, where you feel the motion in your muscles right here. When you find a place where it feels the most engaged, stay there. Stay there and stay there for about 45 seconds. So you can have your handy dandy timer like I do here and just hang out for a little bit. Then you can come back down, set your legs down and go for a rest. And then try this. If you're experiencing difficulty with your L-sits, try adding 5 repetitions of this to your daily practice. So with or without the block, we'll squeeze in our transverse abdominis. Focus on engaging that by moving your legs forward. Be careful not to go too forward and feel your back come up. Bring it back here. So it can be just a tiny movement. You'll notice my legs don't look like they're moving very far because they're not. Big movements aren't necessary for muscular engagement. So feel right here in your tummy if you can feel it. If you can't, that's okay too. Try closing your eyes and thinking. Just focus on your core right here, where you're feeling the movement in your muscles. Find a place where it feels the most engaged and just stay there. Time it, count it, do 5 reps of that for 45 seconds. And you'll notice over about the course of a week that it's really going to improve your ability to engage your transverse abdominis in your seated position with L-sit. Thanks for joining me here today. Feel free to comment, send me a message for questions. I'm happy to help out. But remember, the most important thing that you're doing is showing up for yourself every day, and you should be proud of yourself for doing that. That's the hardest part of anything. It's just showing up and being willing to put in the time and effort. So thank you for spending that time here with me today. I appreciate you, and show that appreciation to yourself in your practice.